Some performers leave the stage when the lights start to dim. Others refuse to walk away no matter how many decades pass, no matter how their voices change, no matter what doctors, critics, or calendars say. Tonight, we count down 10 aging rock stars who simply refuse to quit the stage. And if classic rock history fascinates you, consider subscribing so you never miss a story like this. Number 10. Roger Daltrey.
With a line I shoot, you'll never miss.
By the time most men reach their 80s, the idea of swinging a microphone over their head in front of 20,000 screaming fans sounds like a cruel joke. Roger Daltrey never got that memo. The frontman of The Who has been touring with Pete Townshend deep into his 80s, still delivering songs like Baba O'Reilly and Want Get Fooled Again to crowds that grew up with him and to grandchildren hearing those anthems for the first time. His voice has changed, of course. The piercing scream of his youth has softened into something more weathered, more lived in. But Daltrey has been remarkably candid about the toll touring takes on an older singer, openly discussing hearing loss and the physical demands of the road. The hearing damage is not incidental. Daltrey has described it as severe, the result of decades standing in front of Pete Townshend's windmilling guitar and Keith Moon's thunderous drumming every night. He once estimated that a single Who concert in the early 70s was equivalent to standing beside a jet engine for 2 hours. Still, he keeps booking dates. The Who have toured with full orchestras in recent years, reimagining their catalog for a new generation of arenas. Their 2019 Moving On tour played 49 cities across North America and the United Kingdom with a 50-piece orchestra, and ticket sales suggested the demand for Daltrey's weathered voice had not dimmed in the slightest. For Daltrey, retirement seems to be a word that belongs to other people. Number 9. Ozzy Osbourne. Few rock stars have flirted with the end as openly as Ozzy. Spinal surgeries, a Parkinson's diagnosis, falls, infections, and tour cancellations have all stacked up over the past several years. The spinal injury he suffered in 2003 from an ATV accident in Gloucestershire never fully healed, and a fall at his Los Angeles home in 2019 dislodged metal rods that had been placed along his spine. The Parkinson's diagnosis, which he disclosed publicly in January 2020, added another layer of uncertainty to every announcement he made about future performances. By any reasonable measure, the Prince of Darkness had earned the right to disappear into a quiet retirement in the English countryside. He kept fighting his way back toward the stage. He spoke openly about wanting one more performance, one more chance to stand in front of the fans who had stood by him for more than half a century. The farewell concert in Birmingham in 2025 became one of the most talked about rock events in years, a final gathering of metal royalty around the man who helped invent the genre. Ozzy passed away not long after that show, and the timing felt almost scripted. He had given himself and his audience the goodbye he wanted. Until the very end, the stage was where he most wanted to be. Number 8. Stevie Nicks. There is something almost ceremonial about a Stevie Nicks concert. The shawls, the twirling, the candlelit altars of memory that she builds song by song. Now in her late 70s, Nicks has continued touring relentlessly, sometimes solo, sometimes as part of Fleetwood Mac-related events, always with that unmistakable husky voice, carrying songs like Landslide and Edge of 17.
I've been afraid of changing 'cause
She has talked openly about the physical cost of being on the road, about the careful pacing required to protect her voice night after night. Part of that protection stems from decisions she made years ago. After her well-documented struggles with substance dependency in the 1980s and a subsequent battle with Klonopin addiction that she has said cost her nearly a decade, Nicks emerged with a discipline about her health that now extends directly to how she manages touring. Vocal rest, controlled environments, and limited interview schedules before show nights are all part of the infrastructure that keeps her on the road. Yet, she keeps adding tour dates. New audiences keep filling the seats, drawn by the mythology she built over decades, and by songs that somehow feel more meaningful now than when they were written. For Nicks, the stage is part diary, part church, part time machine, and walking away from it does not appear to be on her schedule.
Telling me who wants to wrap around your dreams.
Number 7. Mick Jagger.
Yeah, come on, baby, now you can't forget what you want.
At an age when many men would be content with golf, grandchildren, and the occasional dinner party, Mick Jagger is still sprinting across stadium stages like a man half his age. The Rolling Stones tours of recent years have proven something most people considered impossible. A frontman in his 80s really can hold an audience of 70,000 in the palm of his hand for 2 solid hours. His heart surgery a few years ago barely slowed him down. The procedure, a minimally invasive transcatheter aortic valve replacement performed in April 2019 at a hospital in New York, was considered a success, and within 3 months, Jagger was on stage in Chicago opening the No Filter Tour's rescheduled North American leg.
If you wanna seek your fortune, need a lot of luck.
Within months, he was rehearsing again, then back on stage. The choreography is slightly more measured these days, but the energy remains startling. Bandmate Keith Richards once joked that Jagger seems to be powered by some private source of fuel the rest of them cannot access. Whatever it is, Jagger shows no interest in tapping it for anything other than another tour. The Stones machine keeps rolling because Mick refuses to let it stop. Number 6. Bruce Springsteen.
Well, tonight, the strip's just right, I wanna blow.
3-hour concerts have always been the Bruce Springsteen signature. The astonishing thing is that well into his 70s, he is still delivering them. The E Street Band tours of recent years have reminded everyone why he earned the nickname The Boss in the first place. Night after night, city after city, with a set list that demands stamina most performers half his age could not muster. Springsteen has been open about health issues that briefly forced him to postpone shows, but each time he returned to the road with the same urgency. The 2023 and 2024 postponements related to peptic ulcer disease were significant, pushing back dozens of dates and generating widespread concern about whether he would return at full strength. He did. The shows are slightly different now, more reflective, more aware of mortality, woven through with songs about loss and memory and the friends who are no longer in the band. The death of saxophonist Clarence Clemons in 2011 left a wound that Springsteen has never entirely stopped referencing from the stage, and the presence of Clarence's nephew Jake Clemons filling that saxophone chair carries a visible emotional weight every single night. Yet the core remains the same. He still leans into the microphone the way he always has, sweat-soaked and grinning, as though there is nowhere else on earth he would rather be. If you are enjoying this countdown so far, drop a comment and let us know where you are watching from and which of these rock legends you have actually seen live. We love reading your stories. Number 5. Paul McCartney.
Hey Jude, don't be afraid. You were made to.
It is a strange thing to watch a man in his 80s walk out on a stadium stage, pick up a left-handed bass, and play songs that helped shape the second half of the 20th century. Paul McCartney has been doing exactly that for decades after most of his peers slowed down or stopped entirely. His Got Back tour stretched across multiple continents in recent years, and the shows routinely ran close to 3 hours. His voice has aged naturally. The high notes on Hey Jude do not come quite the way they did in 1968. But he still hits enough of them, and his audiences treat each one like a small miracle.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
He plays Beatles songs, Wings songs, solo songs, and ends with massive sing-alongs that make grown adults cry. One of the most remarkable features of a McCartney concert is the deepfake hologram technology he introduced to bring John Lennon back to the stage during performances of I've Got a Feeling, allowing the two former Beatles to appear to share a microphone again for the first time since 1969. Whether that moment is seen as beautiful or unsettling tends to depend entirely on the viewer, but it is never forgotten. McCartney has hinted occasionally that any tour might be his last, then promptly announces another one. The road, for him, seems to be the place where time slows down. Number 4. Bob Dylan.
Say you are my friend. When I was down, you just stood there.
Bob Dylan does not tour. He goes on what fans have long called the never-ending tour, and the name has proven remarkably accurate. Now in his 80s, Dylan continues to play more than 50 shows a year, often in mid-sized theaters chosen for their acoustics rather than their capacity. The voice that once defined a generation has become something else entirely, a gravelly, weathered instrument that he uses to constantly reinvent his own songs. Fans never quite know what they are going to get. Classic songs arrive in unfamiliar arrangements, sometimes barely recognizable until a key phrase emerges.
My women just misses me. I'm raining on my feet. But I have no one to meet. And the ancient.
Some audiences find this maddening, others find it thrilling. Dylan himself rarely speaks on stage, rarely explains, rarely looks at the crowd. He simply plays. The road is not a victory lap for him. It seems to be the work itself, the thing that keeps him sharp, and he has shown no sign of stepping away. Number 3. Joan Jett. The leather jacket has gotten a little more worn. The black hair may be a shade less black. But Joan Jett is still out there, guitar slung low, snarling through I Love Rock and Roll and Bad Reputation as though the year were 1982. Now, in her 60s, Jett continues to tour aggressively with the Blackhearts, often as part of large package tours that put her in front of younger audiences alongside other rock veterans. What is remarkable about Jett is how little has changed in her stage presence. The same coiled energy, the same defiant stance, the same refusal to perform femininity in any conventional way. She has spent her entire career being told she was too tough, too loud, too uncompromising. She kept playing anyway. Today, with rock radio formats shrinking and the touring landscape harder than ever for older acts, Jett keeps booking the shows. The road for her has always been less about nostalgia and more about a fight that never really ended. Number 2. Carlos Santana. When Carlos Santana plays the opening notes of Black Magic Woman or Oye Como Va, something in the room shifts. That guitar tone, somewhere between liquid and electric, has been instantly recognizable for more than 50 years. Now in his late 70s, Santana continues to tour, including a long-running residency in Las Vegas that allows him to perform regularly without the brutal logistics of constant travel. He has had health scares. A collapse on stage a few years ago forced him to cancel dates. The incident, which occurred in August 2022 at a concert in Clarkston, Michigan, was attributed to heat exhaustion and dehydration, and it served as a stark reminder of the physical vulnerability that even the most dedicated performers carry with them. But he came back, and he kept playing. Santana speaks about music in almost spiritual terms, describing performance as a form of meditation, a way of channeling something larger than himself. That language might sound grandiose coming from a younger player. From him, after a lifetime of unmistakable solos, it lands as simple truth. He has no apparent interest in retirement. The guitar, for him, is still asking new questions, and he is still answering them. Number 1. Willie Nelson.
For love's the greatest healer to be found.
Some artists slow down with age. Willie Nelson seems to have decided that schedule does not apply to him. Now in his 90s, the country and rock crossover legend continues to tour with his family band, anchored as always by his battered guitar trigger, an instrument so worn it looks more like a piece of folk art than a working guitar. The shows are gentler now than they once were. Songs sometimes run a little shorter, keys sometimes shift down to accommodate his voice, set lengths are carefully managed. But the spirit is unmistakable. He still leans into the microphone with that distinctive phrasing, slightly behind the beat, conversational, intimate. He still plays his annual 4th of July picnic. He still records new music. He still climbs aboard the bus. There is something quietly moving about watching a man in his 90s walk out under stage lights, settle into a stool, and begin singing songs that several generations have grown old listening to. He is not chasing relevance. He is not trying to prove anything. He simply seems to belong on a stage, and as long as audiences keep gathering, Willie Nelson has shown every sign of being there to meet them. For these 10 artists, the stage is not a job they finished. It is the place they were always meant to be.